Welcome to Naked Notes, where two chicks talk about notes while they're What? That's not what this podcast is about? Welcome to Naked Notes, where you will learn the honest, unfiltered, and naked truth about buying non-performing notes throughout the country. Whether you're brand new to this type of investing or have your own portfolio, let Naked Notes be your guide through the note world. Now, here are your hosts, Jasmine and Shelby.
Welcome to Naked Notes. I'm your host, Jasmine Wilwa.
And I am Shelby Reed. Thank you so much for joining us back for our latest season, season 8, episode 1. We've got a great season coming up for you guys. We've got another 10 episodes, just like our normal format. However, we are going to change up the episode format just a little bit. We're going to do our usual intro, but then we also are going to do a note-related moment between Jasmine and I, where we're each going to share a note-related moment that happened to us that week, whether it's something we, thought about with notes, learned from notes, or just wanted to share with notes. So
I got to tell you, I'm really excited about, obviously, the new format, busting out with season 8, but everyone could tell we're doing something different here. We have our new co-host. I'm not going to act like we don't know what's happening here. How excited are we to welcome Shelby? This is our episode. We're just going to tell you what to expect moving forward. And of course, welcome our new co-host, Shelby Reed. So in the meantime, yes, let's talk about note-related moments, because this is our new segment that's really going to tune in to what our aha moments are and things that just make this note investing just process unique and unique to us. So for me, my note-related moment surrounds just me getting out recently. For those of you who have seen me recently at the IMN, I think I attended, that was in Santa Monica, and then I attended the Quest event in Texas. This is really my first time getting back out since the pandemic. Yeah, little one-offs here and there with my own personal events, but my aha moment here, my note-related moment is really the people. The people are what makes this industry really excel for me. The spreadsheets, I love that secretly, of course, but getting out there and seeing some of my old friends was just amazing. We got to meet people that I have worked with for now 2 to 3 years and have not met. And these are people I like to say we have investorships with, because we've made money, right? We've actually invested together and made money with. Some of these vendors have helped me extract profits, and I haven't met them yet. So just excited about getting out and meeting people head on, face to face, and really extending these relationships. So that's my moment, is that this business is more than the profits. It's really about the people.
Absolutely. I love it. It's a good reminder. We're all so busy behind our desks, and it's awesome to have a good reminder that really the actual business happens outside of the desk and in those relationships and meeting with those people and having those interactions and face-to-face moments. So
what's been your aha moment that you want to share?
My aha note-related moment this week is going to be, Jasmine and I interviewed a future guest for a future episode. And it was, his business was about hands-on helping with on-site construction management, rehab management, and just that boots on the ground, construction related minded person that I knew was out there, but hadn't met anyone yet that was in that field. And so it was awesome to meet someone like that, because I've been intimidated to take on any REOs because I'm such a hands-on rehab construction person. And so my aha moment was really just meeting this guest we're going to share with you in the next couple episodes, and just realizing that there are people out there doing that, and they're good people, they're good businesses, and I can rely on them to help me in the next steps.
I think I know who you're talking about. And yeah, this guest really is going to help you guys wrap your head around how we invest nationwide, right?
Absolutely.
It can be done in your own backyard, but to truly maximize and truly get yourself immersed in this experience, the beauty comes when you make money and are able to monopolize and take advantage of, more importantly, take advantage of opportunities that are outside of your backyard, right? Because this then brings more volume and makes this more of a scalable actual business model for you, right? So anyway, excited about that as well. And I definitely know who you're talking about. I think we're doing our sponsors as well too, right?
We are. So we're going to take a quick break, and I want to take a moment to hear from our show sponsor, and we'll be back after the break.
Are you ready to build your legacy and work for yourself? NAP, the Note Assistance Program, is here to help you build your empire with mortgage note investing. Receive monthly inventory in your inbox. Get access to top-notch online training and participate in trusted transactions with vetted sellers and buyers. Join their community by visiting noteassistanceprogram.com now and register for one of their nationwide note labs or online training today.
Welcome back, guys. Today's episode, like I promised, is really here to focus on our new co-host, how she got here, the whole 9.5, just like every one of us who have relationships. And as you know, we feel that we are part of a community. So we have that term that I love that we coined called investorships. That's what we have here. We formed here. So I want us to start by talking about how Shelby found this program and really give you a brief introduction on how she ended up here, because it is a phenomenal story, one that we will touch upon many, many times as we do this season 8. But really today, we're going to highlight our new co-host, Shelby Reed. So Shelby, what got you here?
Thanks, Jazz. Thanks, Jazz. Well, I was laughing while you were telling the story because you talked about in your note related moment how important relationships are, and not to just be behind the desk and, being out. And for those of you that do know me, you'll know, and you'll come to know me, that I am very new and early on in my note investing journey, which is part of the reason why I'm so passionate about being here and of being on the podcast, so that we can share that I'm not an experienced. I mean, I'm somewhat experienced now, but I'm not like a fully seasoned, experienced note investor. And so when you guys hear me talk, it truly is like coming from the beginning phases. I do have a couple of notes under my belt now, so I can feel that I'm somewhat experienced, but I was laughing because really how I came to be was just having a relationship with Jasmine and trying and just reaching out and expressing how much I love the podcast. I found Jasmine through the podcast.
Right.
I laugh all the time. I tell everyone that it was my most favorite podcast, because as soon as I heard the intro, I was dying laughing, couldn't believe that this was for real, because everyone's always so stuffy and serious on their podcasts. And, I knew when I heard that intro, I was like, okay, I'm going to get some real information, some real knowledge, and this is not just talk. Like, I'm going to really learn something here.
Right. And let's talk about this podcast real quickly, because this is a perfect opportunity for us to pay homage and shout out to Natasha, who is now, as we all know, she just had her second child, right? So note investing, one of the things about this, for me, it's definitely a women's sport, right? And
I love that.
For us to have Shelby coming in and stepping into the shoes of Natasha, it's really two things. One, we're watching one note investor reach their personal goals, right? Having children was something she'd always wanted to do, and now having the ability to stay home with her kids, that's something you and I have to be able to understand and respect. And many women out there going, yes, that's what this is about. And now we've got Shelby. Tell us a little bit about yourself, because you have children as well, right? And definitely
I do.
How Natasha played a role in you even giving us a call.
Yes. So I'm kind of on the flip side of Natasha's story. I have 2 older children. I live in Jefferson City, Missouri. So we're in the Midwest, and I've got 2 kiddos. They're in 7th grade and I was thinking 3rd grade. And, I've struggled throughout my entire career and motherhood journey of balancing and finding the right balance between being a mom and a hands-on mom versus being a successful businesswoman and entrepreneur, which is what I've always dreamed about and had a passion for doing. And so when I first started following you and Natasha, I was immediately drawn to you all just because you are both moms. And when I heard of Natasha leaving and taking breaks because she had her first child and now her second, obviously that just got me even more excited, because while I am on the tail end of my kids, they're older and they don't want to always be around me. I'm passionate about still building that for myself, even though my kids are a little bit older.
Yeah, no, that's an amazing, amazing transition. And so that brings us to you listening to the podcast. We're really captivated by that intro, which, by the way, that's exactly what this is about, to let you know who and what you're in store for, right? So you got a little bit of reality. One of my favorite parts about you is how we actually met, right? So dive into a little bit about that. Definitely unique again.
Yep. So, we're just keeping it real over here, which again flows with the making notes. But I had a residential rental portfolio going on and was just really burnt out on I was property managing them all myself. I had some partners, but I was the one that was hands-on managing all of the properties. And so was just getting burnt out. Things were breaking. We were having to put in a lot more capital. we weren't really seeing the light at the end, just given the constant continual, everyone always says tenants, toilet trash, all that stuff. I mean, it's not that bad. I don't want to go down that negative train, but it is, it's a little more hands-on. And so I was working and putting myself out there and trying to meet people who could help me flip those rental properties into seller finance properties. And then was introduced to actually Russ over at Call the Underwriter, who was the one who introduced me to Jasmine.
That's right.
Because he was on your podcast. And that was when he said, well,
Yes.
no. He's like, I understand what you're trying to do, but I don't think you want to do that. You just need to talk to Jasmine. You just need to make your own notes. Don't
Shout out
even
to our
worry
vendors.
about, don't even worry about doing all this other stuff. Just create or buy your own notes. You don't need to create them, just buy them. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I was like, well, let me learn about that. And that was when I got introduced to Jasmine and her current assistant at the time. I spoke with her and I had a lot of reservations, and she was great. I still think very highly of her. And she was like, no, you just got to talk to Jazz. You got to talk to her. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever.
And that's a lot because in the beginning, this sounds so like mystical and then maybe even too good to be true, right? So it's just like,
right?
What are you talking
right.
about?
I'm like, she just wants me to sign up for a program. Cool. I'm not interested in that at all. Like, that's not my MO. Like, I'm not going to be the one up here that tells you I've done 1 million programs, because I just haven't. I don't believe in it. But obviously I did join your program. So fast forward to that. But so she finally convinces me to get on the call, convinces Jasmine to take the call. Right. But Jasmine, she's busy. I'm busy, but she was, getting her hair done at the time. So I get on a Zoom call and Jasmine's laying down in the water bowl with a Cheetah print smock, getting her hair done.
Shout out
I think I mean,
Cheetah print
keeping it real.
Yeah. And it's what's funny is you guys have now, I guess this podcast has been going on for 4+ years. So a lot of you guys are used to me and my energy. And so when I get a similar call from the back end where my sister's, you got to talk to this woman, Shelby. She really gets it. She just needs to understand. She just needs that click. We're both like, okay, let's talk. And so, I'm like, let's do it. Woman to woman. Hopefully you can relate with this. And so I actually turned on the camera just for future reference. We have shut down the basin Zoom calls from now on. So but just one of those moments. Yeah, just one of those moments where you're just in it and you just take it and you go with it. And here we are, still laughing about it. If you ever see us wearing a cheetah print outfit, it's really about our internal joke, right?
Yeah. And what's really funny is Cheetah has always been my like passionate little like design love or style love. Like, I love Cheetah. So when she flashes a camera and I see a bunch of Cheetah, I'm like, oh, I like her. What is she going to say? I mean, hopefully she said something good because she looks good.
And here I am embarrassed going, don't mind me in the Cheetah, but it all works out, right? So you just, part of what my no related moment was just the people, right? And just as she goes through the story, that's how we met on the phone. We didn't really officially meet till later. So tell me.
That wasn't even, I mean, gosh, that was only 6-7 months ago, actually maybe 8 months ago. It was actually this year. Right. I joined the program. I had bought a small note, but again, still, I had a lot of other things going on in my life between other businesses I owned and was working on. And we moved towns. We actually moved from St. Louis to Jefferson City. There was a lot going on. And as I'm sure a lot of you can relate, you need your husband or wife. I love my husband and he is a big part of my endeavors and we do a lot of our investing together. And so I wanted him on board, needed him on board. And he's busier than I am. And so the only way to do that was I was like, you've got to just come to a note lab with me. You have to come. You're not going to listen to me when he was listening to me, but he needed to hear it from someone else, just like that's we classic, all do.
Right? Yeah, it's classic relationship. It's you hear the same person's voice all the time. And even if it's not that, it's you also coming home now with this. Again, notes sounds too good to be true. So and this is just from someone who's been doing this for 10 years, believe it or not, 10-year anniversary for the Note Assistance Program. We had 10 years into this. One of the most important things that I found for people's success is to have the buy-in and the understanding of their spouse or significant other, right? So for us, we really don't even like to go down the path unless we've had at least our initial call with your spouse. But again, just to focus on, for those of you who are out there, it does sound a little crazy when you come home and tell your spouse, we're going to become the bank. They're like, oh yeah, why? Yeah. Just today we're going to do that?
It does. And I, on my first call with Jasmine, I I told her my super secret passionate goal that I've had for a long time. And I'm not going to say it out loud on the podcast, but when I hit the goal, I will absolutely tell everyone what it was. And she
Right
probably
on.
doesn't remember what it is. I'm not there yet, but I am going to keep you guys posted when I get there because I know I'm going to get there, but it had to do with my husband. And so bringing him in was just what I had to do. And so I convinced him to come to a note lab, which was in Texas, which was a fun just getaway for us for the weekend. And I mean, it wasn't even Sunday evening by the time his wheels are turning. I'm very much the doer, hands, pencil and paper person. He's got a much bigger brain to understand concept wise, bigger picture wise. So he was already like, his wheels were turning and he's already like, okay, how can we take this to the next level? How can we make a difference and hit your goals? And that was what I needed because then he took me to the next level, which is where I'm at now. So, that's when we met.
Yeah. And that's what's amazing about it is that we met now, I think it was, as she mentioned, 8 months into our relationship. She maybe had to purchase 1 or 2 notes. And the things really sparked and flew when I got to meet her better half, right? And believe me when I say this guy and I
Mike thinks Jasmine likes him more than me. So he jokes when I'm on the phone with Jasmine and he's like, tell Jasmine I said hi.
We hit it off like nobody's business. When I tell you, crack up secretly about some of the jokes that we share. So with that said, it is really important because that, again, she contributes a lot of her success to that. So again, if you're listening to this, we have numerous couples who are part of this community. So it's not unique just to Shelby. This is something that we all experience. So being relatable is something that we hope you can get from this podcast because this is what makes you go forward. And sometimes, more often than not, it's the women that take the lead. So I have to say kudos to you for doing that. So now you on the podcast, but what got you here again, talking about your first note real quick, and then how that got you to your second, third, and I think 25th note? Where are we?
25 is exactly right, actually. Good job. That's impressive. So my first note was back in 2020, I believe, maybe it was even early 2021. No, it's probably 2020. We're still in COVID. And it was a very small note. It was a $6,000 note. It's in Illinois. So I was living in St. Louis at the time. I could drive to this asset and look at it. I knew the area. I had agents who I knew that spot. But again, it was one of those things where it was like, hey, I could lose $6,000. It's going to hurt. And I'm going to cry a little bit about it because that's a really nice purse or a really nice something at my house. But $6,000, like if it totally goes to heck, like whatever, I can lose that. And so that was what I did. And I bought it. And even at the time, my husband was like, I don't even know what you're doing, but whatever, just if you're going to do it with only $6,000. So I bought that note. It was actually a performing note, but I think it was like sub-performing. I think it's a long story, but it just was a little I call it my little baby note. And it's been performing. The returns are ridiculous because I get like $250 a month. I spent $6,000 on it. Yeah. So it's there and that's that note. I don't have any need to do anything with it because it's just a little fun for me.
So here's what's crazy about that. And this is where some of what we have in common, just even from our journey, right? Everyone has different journeys, but my first note, $7,500 note. Okay. It was just one of those, let me see what happens, make sure I don't get arrested and go to jail for this. Like, again, when I first heard about someone with my background was still a little apprehensive about this note game. So again, my note, same price range, I paid about $7,500. Again, the beauty of this community and this program is that you will be able to dip your toe in and there are notes. Some of them are under 10 grand. Yes, of course, some of them are much higher, but you can actually try with something that will fit your comfort level, right? And your risk reward. So mine's same size. And we will actually do a podcast talking about our first notes through and through because to this day, I am literally going through the final exit strategy of that note. So now a good 12, 13 years later, I collected money on it and now actually foreclosing on the property. So I can't wait to tell you guys that story.
I can't wait to hear it because I was actually going to ask you that, but I didn't know. I knew we were going to talk about it on another episode, but I can't wait to hear that because it is, 12 or 13 years later and you're just now exiting, which is great. So I'm excited to hear that story, but it's going to be a good one. I can't wait.
So you got your first note. It was within 2-hour drive. And then what happened? The rubber band just pulled back and bam.
So after I met Jasmine and got my husband in and we started really thinking big picture and trying to because to me, if I get a check for $250 a month, it's a friend of mine actually that is also going to be on the podcast. He always said his note investing check is the easiest check he gets every single month. And so it is, because I don't have to do anything. I mean, I'm doing things behind the scenes, but if I can get that, why can't I take that and extrapolate it to the goal that I want to be at? And that's where like my mind is at. And I am not to that goal, and I will let everybody know when I get to that goal. But that's what I'm working on, because if I can take $250 and get it in my mailbox and my bank account every month, why can't I make that equal the dollar amount that I really need to sustain my family off of that?
And that's 100%. It's the truest form of passive income, and probably the easiest money that you work for or put out there for. And that's why note investing is that thing that we use to help us with that legacy building. So tell us about your buyers club, right? That's where you are now?
Yes, absolutely. So at some point, I'm sure we'll do an episode we should talk about buyers club, because that was another step up for us. So after we were at the event with Jasmine, we realized we wanted to go bigger, and we still want to go bigger. We're still trying to go big, but we wanted to get in buy larger pools and buy larger groups at a time versus just some one-offs. So we joined Buyers Club, actually partnered with some local friends and colleagues of ours here in town who we've been working with, and we took down a tape about a month ago. It was 23 land lots in Oklahoma. Some have mobile homes on them, some don't. They're all performing. We still were able to buy them at a discount, which makes a difference. But we're still finishing the onboarding process, but I'm excited about them. I mean, it's exciting.
This is exactly what we're here to do. And so that was obviously the abbreviated version of your story. And as we go on, she's going to start telling you more and more about her current journey and intertwine how she got there. But ladies and gentlemen, this is really what we're here to do, right? Everyone's journey will take some of you a little bit longer, some of you shorter. One of our episodes, we're going to have the women of Nap Nation, so you hear more and more about her story and then see how it compares to some of the other success that we've had and continue to have with this program. In the meantime, we got to say thank you so much for joining, and definitely check us out on our YouTube so you can give Shelby the support that we have. You want to wrap it up for us?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you to Jasmine. I'm so excited for this season. Season 8. I'm pumped. I'm pumped to share all of our awesome guests we have this season. And please check us out at all the local spots. We're online at nakednotespodcast.com. We are also on our YouTube. As Jasmine mentioned, we're recording all of our podcasts. So if you prefer to watch them, check us out there. And then we're also on Facebook as well. So see you all at the next episode, and thank you.
Thank you for joining Naked Notes. Jasmine and Shelby are not attorneys, and this podcast is intended for educational purposes only. For more information about how to work with the Note Assistance Program, please go to www.noteassistanceprogram.com to get details of the programs they offer to help you get started in notes. You can also find them on Facebook at Note Assistance Program. Be sure to also check out their meetup.com page for monthly lunch and learns, note labs, and other events. Make sure to check back regularly for new episodes, and let Naked Notes be your trusted partner on your note journey.